Absolutely. Whether you're a Alajuela fan or not and you're from Costa Rica, certainly everybody knows that this will do so much great for the nation of Costa Rica and the soccer program down there, and certainly would open eyes if for some reason that World Club Championship, when everyone was expecting a team from the United States or Mexico to represent, all of a sudden there's little Alajuela. Well, we're underway. What everyone's been waiting for. We have gone through the quarters and the semis unscathed. And now we set it up for what should be a very entertaining, tight final. Alajuela in the red and black stripes get us started. Comes wide to Chinchilla. Necaxa, who have similar colors, will be donning the predominantly white jerseys with some red trim around the breastplates. At midfield, touched wide, controlled there by Harold Wallace. Taken away quickly. Here's Necaxa with their first look. Comes out to Jose Luis Montes. We'll touch it back to the two center backs, Salvador Cabrera. No, German Villa. Not a good ball from him as he lost his footing on this very dry Samboy turf, which has really gone some wear and tear over the last week. High ball wide. Miso gets loose for a moment. Good pace and the separations there, but ricochets off a Necaxa player. Cleared away by Aguinaga. Continuing to go to the throat is Alajuela here in the first minute.
Well, Max, you've already seen really what is the attack of Alajuela. That is the direct...
Oof, just offside there.
The direct ball of Wilmer Lopez to Josef Miso, as Alex Aguinaga making a deep run out of midfield, trying to break that back line of Alajuela. But I'll tell you one thing that really sticks out in Alajuela's defending. They are a team that gets a second covering defender over to people very, very quickly here on this shorter Sam Boyd Stadium. And Necaxa will have their hands full with a well-organized, disciplined team.
Alajuela getting by the skin of their teeth in both encounters. 1-0 over Toluca in the Javier Delgado penalty. And then in a real scrap with Chicago Fire, which ended 1-1, went to penalties. Touched back there by Almaguer to his keeper, Hugo Pineda, going to the ponytail today.
Now his experience and leadership really has been a key back here. He's been injured prior, bad elbow injury, but he's back and has really provided veteran leadership back here. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times goalkeeping is the difference in this tournament. We've seen DC have some sort of indecisive goalkeeping by Tom Prestis that really has hurt them in this tournament. But any team that gets to a final generally has had some good goalkeeping.
Oh, absolutely. Pineda and Alvaro Mesen, the two keepers, keep an eye on today. Montes. He'll keep it up on the left side, finding for the first time Sergio Vasquez. Keep an eye on the flanks. Vasquez on the left, Oliva on the right will cause havoc for this Alajuela back three.
Yeah, they are just so high-powered.
Aguinaga, the creative element, fouled that time. And already, here in minute 3, an ideal spot for Necaxa to strike first. I believe the foul came from behind. It may have been Wilmer Lopez. Little shoulder bump.
Well, how Aguinaga goes, that is how Necaxa goes. And certainly, Alajuela will try to break his rhythm in this one today, as Necaxa will try to break Wilmer Lopez's rhythm, the playmaker for Alajuela.
Aguinaga did not like the wall, but then he'll become part of it. Leave it up to Montes, who just whacks it into the feet of the Alajuela players. And the whistle comes, and see what we have here is Jose Farias of Canada. He's going to give another free kick to Necaxa, perhaps a handball now. And now it gets a little bit more into Aguinaga area, right in front of the goal in midfield. And certainly you don't want to give them too many chances. Keep your eye also on number 9 in the box, the big fella, Delgado. See him moving around, trying to get good position. Aguinaga takes it this time, a scorcher. Great reaction from Mesen.
Well, you see that, just driven hard and low. He finds a little space by the side of the wall, and Mesen going down well to his right. See a little gap there, two defenders charging. Alex Aguinaga, he gets a shot off quickly. And that, the first chance of this match falls to Necaxa.
Throw in on the far end. Sending it is Sandro Alfaro. Alajuelense, after a dangerous beginning, have settled back a bit, due in part to Necaxa starting to win the balls and putting a little pressure on them, just as it was in that case.
Yeah, they've decided to step their pressure up a little bit, but I think it's a real clear-cut game. It's the counter game and the game on the break of Alajuelense, a very defensive, well-organized team collectively against the high power and the skilled machine of Necaxa.
That time getting away briefly and drawing the foul was the Slovakian player Josef Miso. Quickly taken, nobody there, just poor communication by Alajuelense. There is Jose Luis Montes.
I think the one hope that Alajuelense really has is that this is not a very pacey team in the back for Necaxa. And a guy like Josef Miso, all he has to do is latch on to the end of one Wilmer Lopez ball, and it could be trouble.
On the other side, they're sliding it through to David Oliva. Couldn't catch up with it. Minute 6, no score, but a nice, frantic pace developing. Back and forth action. That one goes through to Valente.
And you already see the contrast between this game and the third place game. People not given any time in this match. The third place game, people got a little bit of time on the ball. Not so in this one so far with Necaxa and Alajuelense.
So much more at stake. Here's a good look at Guilherme Farinha. His stock will be on the up and up if he can take Alajuelense out of here with a trophy. The Brazilian coach took over at the La Liga at the start of the season, came to Costa Rica from Club Cerro Corra of Paraguay's first division. The sky's the limit if he can take Alajuelense the championship. From the right, picked up by Almaguer. Easy ball for Messin.
Necaxa's 6 goals in 2 games to get here to the final. Half of those goals coming from Ecuadorian international Agustin Delgado, who himself is a physical handful up front.
Up on the right side, first time they give Valente a look, and then a little shove by Germán Villa. Seemed a little excessive with the force that time.
Yeah, Germán Villa, the hard man of this midfield. And when you talk about him and Vigna in midfield, those two holding midfielders are the guys that really glue this team together and allow the Olivas and the Sergio Vasquez's and the Alex Aguinagas the room to operate.
Aguinaga with the fake. At the corner of the box. Sets it back to Vasquez. High ball beats the defender. Set back by Oliva. Charging right foot shot. Wide of the near post by a matter of feet. Getting there maybe a little late from the back, I believe, was Villa.
Some quality combination play here, but watch this ball just being laid down by Oliva for the trailing run here. And I believe Germán Villa, the man who shoots that ball wide, joining in out of his defensive holding midfield spot. But Oliva, just a wonderful one-touch there, just setting the table. And boy, that's a little inefficient finishing, but how quickly the point of attack can be changed by Necaxa.
Dispossessed nicely that time by Salvador Cabrera. I tell you, Alajuelense have had some good success, but they haven't run to any defensive unit like this one at Necaxa today. Oliva senses the pressure exerted from the defense of Alajuelense. Touches it back to Germán Villa. Further back to Almaguer. His pass intercepted. One right back. It's like Vasquez working on the right this time. In it comes. 1, 2, 3. And the right foot shot. A slight deflection. Deflection, I should say. And luckily doesn't go over the end line, so Messin can clear it on his own time.
Boy, how wonderful, though, Sergio Vasquez is on the dribble. For me, really, he has been my favorite player in this tournament. So quick on the dribble, so technical, just really a joy to watch.
Nice overlap on the right, provided by Harold Wallace, crossing the goal mouth and through. Well, some more creative stuff out of Alajuelense, just some poor finishing here. This is some Argentine fans making it down here to Las Vegas from Córdoba, of all places.
Must have got lost.
Yeah, they smelt the soccer going on and they just came over. Good for them.
You gotta love it. Well, the crowd overflowing here for the finalists, the biggest attendance of this tournament. And of course, knowing what is at stake.
A little shove from behind provided by Wilson Munoz. Throw in for Alajuelense here in minute 10. Still no score. Alajuelense Alajuela, I'm sure, preparing for a storm. They have to weather it when it comes.
They're actually putting some pressure now, committing a few more people forward here against Necaxa. They have to be timely when they do that. Of course, this guy is a big part of trying to support Wilmer Lopez. And Joseph Miso, that Harold Wallace, had an outstanding tournament.
And Harold Wallace, very pacey player. That's the one thing that Alajuela, I believe, has an advantage over Necaxa, the speed. They're going to have to use it. And there was a sloppy ball. Aguinaga creating the pressure. Here comes the counterattack. Delgado has it on the right. He has to settle back. Alajuela drops back defensively. Oliva, no stranger to speed himself, gets the throw in. Very close to a corner kick there. So some more pressure provided here by Necaxa.
Well, Necaxa has done a wonderful job of sort of adapting to the conditions here. And it certainly doesn't hurt when you've got great technical players in tight. Dealing with the tight confines here at Sam Boyd Stadium. And certainly every team has them, but they've got a larger volume.
That's a good ball. Over the crossbar. I believe it was Aguinaga. I think it was Hernandez crossing it from the right. So slowly but surely they start getting a little closer here.
Well, you saw 3 defenders drawn to the players in the corner and how quickly it is and important it is to knock it back to supporting players. And I'll tell you, we talk about how good Alajuela is at getting a second and third defender over to the ball. They hunt it in packs. That's the key. You draw some people to the ball and you got to hit trailing people. And right there they do, and it leads to a great servicing ball.
Harold Wallace could not control. Throw in for Necaxa. Provided by Jose Luis Montes. Whistle comes. Shove in the back, I think, from Enrique Smith. Free kick for Necaxa. The Rayos.
You know, Max, it is so important in this stadium to get quality support from behind. You know, we always talk about it in wide positions or in forward positions, but support from behind is a real key.
Aguinaga, as you would expect, picking it up, looking for Delgado. Delgado going to create all sorts of size problems, as he has all tournament long. Alajuela just doesn't have that big, tall central defender.
Of course, he got 2 goals against Saprissa and then hit the one bomb in the upper corner, postage stamp style, against DC United.
On the left, Alajuela getting attacking. Good short passing. Look at the lucky deflection. Cut it inside. The target, Miso. Punched away there by Sergio Almaguer.
I have to think there's a little bit more pressure on Necaxa. They're expected to win this match. And Alajuela playing with so much confidence right now. The support of a country.
Now knuckling in the air towards Harold Wallace. It's a couple knocks and it'll be cleared away here by Necaxa. A lot of pressure from themselves, certainly, Glenn. This one comes into Valente. Squirting through was Miso. Now Necaxa clear it. They just can't clear it, actually. Wallace tries to, but won't. Tomo's trying to make it. A lot of pressure from them. But I'm sure the CONCACAF governing body would like to see Necaxa go through because of the star power. Certainly they think they would perform better against the big shot Manchester United clubs, the Real Madrids. Alajuela, all due respect to them, may seem overwhelmed at times.
Well, they certainly haven't had in this. They haven't seemed overwhelmed in this CONCACAF Champions Cup. So right now they have Necaxa under the gun with some good high pressure here and good ball possession.
Wallace creating his own space. That ball hung in the air forever, and a dangerous chest down provided by Salvador Cabrera to his keeper, Hugo Pineda.
And of course, we saw in the third place game, Paul Dougherty chest the ball back to his goalkeeper, Greg Sutton, and then collide with him. And the ball deflecting to Ben Olsen, who then scores. And that was sort of reminiscent of that play in the third place match.
Minute 14 here, moving along. Herman Villa. Oh, nice touch by Oliva. Space. The cross coming off the foot of Vina. Didn't get there, but they have to throw in. Solid defensive play that time provided by Chinchilla. And one creaks up for Necaxa. Certainly the first goal in this match will swing it decisively in favor of one of these sides. That one reaches the 6-yard box. I believe a corner conceded. It was. They've been in this position twice before. They won it in '86, runner-up in 1992. From outside of the box, a powerful shot by Villa. He has to backtrack to get it and does save it. In '86, they were champions over SV Transvaal of Suriname in a two-leg match. Certainly a match they should have won. And then later on in the '92 final, losing to America and of Mexico, as we all know, one of those powerful clubs in this hemisphere.
You can see the field, the conditions. The field is absolutely rock hard. And you can see the wear and tear of the tournament over the days has even worn a lot of the grass down. So this is a field that is very hard, very fast, very difficult to control a ball on. Just made it more impressive to watch some of these teams dealing under these conditions.
Raul Arias. A lot of people expected Toluca to be in this position, but it's Necaxa, the other Mexican team in this tournament. Alajuelense taking care of Toluca in the first round.
Of course, the other interesting thing is, of course, there's a lot of motivation from Alajuelense and the Costa Rican teams, because up against the Mexican teams, which is really considered the top teams in the CONCACAF region. Over the years anyway, historically.
And now with the MLS teams, these tournaments just become much more difficult for the likes of Alajuelense, who used to frequently get pretty far into these tournaments. Good ball and good extension by Messin. Lurking on the near post was Sergio Vasquez. Bad giveaway. Through ball to Delgado. He may be able to get this cross in. He does, but put too much muscle into it.
Well, Max, this tournament has the potential to be something special and huge, really. Now, with an immediate berth into the World Club Championships, it puts a whole new light on this tournament. And in the future, you're only going to see it get better and better.
Let's hope so. And you said it, with that tournament in January looming, the results or the outcome of this doubly important as in years past.
Well, defending champions coach Thomas Rogan, first thing he says after they get eliminated is, hey, we got to win the MLS Cup so we can get back into this CONCACAF Champions Cup next year.
On the right, good ball. Oliva has some space, but it just trickles back to Chinchilla. As you check it, that's Enrique Smith, who's moved over from the right. Throw in, provided by Hernandez. Crossing ball, missing everybody. An attempted chest down by Delgado. It'll be the Uruguayan Sergio Vasquez.
But there again, that second pressing defender coming out. And that's the thing you've got to do around guys like Sergio Vasquez and David Oliva and Alex Aguinaga, is get that second defender over there as quickly as possible and limit that time and space.
Well, we're into minute 19, and you've got to give the advantage to Alajuelense. They've taken a couple free kicks, one tremendous shot from Aguinaga, and have shut down the flanks. Aguinaga, hanging ball to Oliva. Touched it off the right foot across the goal mouth. He continues to be one of the stars of the Necaxa attack and this tournament. Only 27, a bit deceptive with the gray hair, but he's still a young player, and he's got a world of speed.
He picked up a goal against DC United, but you're right, and he's got some skill to go along with that speed, too, as well. I think he had a little trouble picking that ball out of the air due to the sun.
See the shadows creeping in here at Sam Boyd Stadium. Should be gone from the players' eyes, I'd say, somewhere around the second half. High ball. Sailing over the crossbar, but not by much. Julio Pineda had to give it a look.
What a wonderful idea from Sandro Alfaro. Sensing Hugo Pineda off his line and almost chipping him from about 45 yards out. Well, we saw Hugo Pineda get caught earlier in this tournament out at the edge of his 18 against, I believe it was Saprissa.
Touched wide.
Good idea.
See the long-range game finally come into play for Alajuelense. An elevated foot, I have to imagine, was the call there on Wallace. And Necaxa getting the benefit of some early calls. Quickly taken. Montes didn't like what he had ahead. He'll send it back to the center backs. Cabrera. It's going to be a chase. Oliva for Necaxa. Alfaro wins it for Alajuela in front of Oliva. Right now we haven't seen Miso or Valente get much service. Right at midfield. Almaguer. Check it, that was Salvador Cabrera opening it to the near side. Montes charging, but it wasn't a friendly pass that time to Viña. That was a friendlier pass, though, to Valente, setting it up. Miso on his horse. Cabrera just fends him off. This defensive four so far as advertised for Necaxa. This diagonal ball to Delgado. He chipped it back, and keep an eye on this. Maybe a counterattack in the works.
Boy, look at Lopez in tight with pressure all over him.
Some sloppy play here in the last few minutes, and from behind, Wilson Munoz took a hack. And Sergio Vasquez free kick. No yellow, though. And that is exactly what Vasquez is complaining about, I have to imagine.
Now, the Uruguayan obviously not happy here. Just getting bumped from behind. Players like that are very technical, you know, they can get frustrated when the conditions are tight. And rightly so, because they're artists, they want to make the game.
Looping ball towards Villa, who never stopped running. Cleared briefly by Chinchilla. It wasn't a good clearance, but luckily for him, taken by Alajuela, but just briefly dispossessed by Aguinaga. The cross. Looking for Vasquez. Corner coming up.
Well, this is a lot about how the game has to be played on a tight field like this. It's immediate pressure when you lose possession. If you can get it back, you're initially and immediately in positions of opportunity. And then the early ball into the box there, almost catching somebody at the back post.
As you would expect, Aguinaga with the set piece, the short corner, leaves it off to Vasquez. Back to Aguinaga. He beats his man off the left foot. Equally as dangerous with it. And Messon, solid in the back. Hasn't looked shaky at all, and that's very important for Guillermo Fariña.
Now, Messon has been of quality in this tournament, no doubt about it.
Salvador Cabrera. High ball. Won there by Luis Arnaez. Chasing down is Chinchilla.
Now, Áñez has been just so solid, the captain in the center of defense for Alajuela. Actually a very versatile player. Plays on the national team as a holding midfielder, and you'll see him advance at times in this match. A little bit more forward into midfield, but very solid breaking plays up and very smart and composed.
Sent to the right. Some pressure there by the Costa Ricans. One there by Alfaro. Necaxa defensively allows you such little room to operate, and that time they did it illegally.
Well, Germán Villa, sort of the hard man holding midfielder. He'll be the guy who gets whistled for the foul right here, bringing down Sandro Alfaro. But it's hard to get away from people, hard to find space here.
Sent wide. Near side, there to chase, it's Aguinaga. He is confronted by Enrique Smith. And Aguinaga's so savvy, look at that. Cuts it into Delgado, who gets there first? Here comes the big train that is known as Agustín Delgado. And forcing to make the play that time was Pablo Chinchilla. An interesting protocol did Chinchilla before coming back to Costa Rica. 3 years in the Austrian League.
Well, surely that European experience very helpful to Alajuela as he comes across laterally to provide the cover there and break that play up.
Throw in by Vasquez. It's a good one. Good strong throw. Left-footed blast! From about 30 yards. Didn't fool Messon, but was on its way in.
Well, and it definitely was a tester. And you can't ever overestimate the importance of getting shots off and having midfielders who look to take shots from longer range here to pull defenses out.
Right side ball for Oliva. Instead, finds Pablo Chinchilla. Soft little touch, leaving it for Alfaro. Finally, some service for Miso, perhaps, perhaps not.
There it is again. That is how I think Alajuelense is going to catch Necaxa. It'll be through Lopez, and it'll be through Joseph Miso, the target man up front.
Knocked around a couple times, finally brought down, and with a lot of class, Sergio Vasquez has options. Whoa, Aguinaga had his run time perfectly. A game-saving defensive play by Luis Arnaez.
There it is again, Lopez to Miso. But you gotta love Sergio Vasquez in full flight, his ability to take people on one-on-one. It's just a joy to watch. You love seeing players with that sort of confidence. He's got the tricky little flicks with the outside of the foot. He can do it all.
He really is an elegant player. Fun to watch. Luis Montes. Ooh, over the back, Delgado. But apparently he was shoved. Fariña not too impressed with that call.
He certainly has become a great personality in this tournament. Fariña off his bench and running with his team to salute the fans after the penalty kick win over Chicago. And think about it. Hey, they knocked off 2 champions. They knocked off Toluca, a huge team, and then knock off 2-time champions, the Chicago Fire, not only the MLS Cup winners, but also U.S. Open Cup. So what an achievement already for Alajuelense.
Well, that ball lands perfectly for Miso. A late challenge. We know we're getting a free kick for Alajuelense, but will we get more in the form of a yellow card for this defense? Hard to say, but Miso was away. There's the yellow. It's going against, I believe, Luis Montes.
Well, again, the one thing that people point to is maybe a lack of pace in the back. And number 9, Josef Miso, the Slovakian up front for Alajuelense. This guy has bags of pace and finishing ability. Of course, he got the goal in the victory over Toluca, and then was a huge part of creating the goal against the Chicago Fire.
There's some of the Costa Rican fans alongside some of the Mexican fans. You talk about speed. Certainly, when age starts creeping in, speed's one of the first things to go. Jose Luis Montes not getting any younger at 31 now. Left foot ball comes in. Far post, and Pineda showing up his counterpart, missing on that time.
Well, set piece is another way that somebody could win this one here. That one just driven with tremendous power right there. And a great reaction save. I believe it's Alfaro who gets that off. Great reaction save from Hugo Pineda.
Provides a corner kick for Alajuelense. Good high ball creeping to the back of the box, and it's going to be a chase. Vasquez just cutting in front of Chinchilla. The defense is out for Alajuelense. Oh boy, what was that? Bigger advantage being played here. Chinchilla sets it in. And all of a sudden, those challenges becoming a little harder, and you can just sense the physical nature of this match starting to reveal its ugly head.
Now, individually, every player out here stands to benefit financially by a result here in this tournament as well. So there is just huge motivation here. But I think right now, Alajuelense gaining tremendous confidence. Very positive start for them. And really selectively picking their moments of when to pressure Necaxa.
Good ball sent in. We've seen some great free kicks here in these opening half hour from both sides.
And some great free kick goals in this tournament. Kosecki getting one for Chicago. We saw actually Ante Razov in the third place game get a great free kick goal. So there's been some great free kick specialists in this tournament.
In a losing effort, Saprissa got one at the end of their match. Really, certainly under-respected soccer here from CONCACAF. And some Guatemalan fans. Wow. They didn't have a team in this tournament, but they'll cheer nonetheless. I imagine maybe joining their brethren, the Costa Ricans, and cheering against big brother Mexico. It was a rallying point for all the Central American countries. They live in the big shadow of Mexican soccer. So for Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, we'll jump on each other's bandwagon. Good through ball to Valente! Perfect opportunity by the rangy forward, but he knocked it over as the defense finally caught up with him.
Well, Cabrera makes a saving play. You'll watch. He's going to just nudge Valente here as he gets set to take this shot. Let's see. Just gets a little nudge, a little pressure. And one thing a defender always wants to do, you never give up on a play, because that little nudge and that little bump throws off Valente, and that's why that shot goes off the target. But again, right now, Alajuelense has created the better chances in this match.
And it's just getting more and more frequent from Alajuelense, and as each minute creeps out of this first half, they've really put a stamp on this encounter.
Well, let's not forget, though, DC United came out against Necaxa, got the 1-0 lead through Kerry Talley, and then really, I think, had the better of the play in the first half, and then once Necaxa scored off the corner, then they found their game.
Miso trying to creep in. There was perhaps a better option on the left, a wide open Sandro Alfaro waiting for it. Now Pineda, in this dry heat in Las Vegas, starting to really develop a sweat as the challenges are coming fast and furious. Jose Luis Montes, nice little dispossession there. Harold Wallace. Some nice little matchups developing here and there. Wallace and Vasquez, Aguinaga and Arnaez, Miso and Salvador Cabrera. Another throw in for Necaxa. Touched back, left foot cross comes in. Messin read it well. He's had absolutely no problems with any ball.
You got to like that initiation of the counterattack there from Messin, dipping the shoulder and sort of side volleying that ball to sort of differentiate the trajectory to try and headman somebody up front. I'll tell you, that's an element of our goalkeepers in this country's game that really has to develop. We don't have many goalkeepers who have really mastered that sort of side volley.
Delgado keeps it alive. Now Vasquez off the left foot. One hopper into the waiting arms of Alvaro Messin. He's in the shadow right now. Perhaps a better look at the balls as you can see the shadows creeping vertically towards Hugo Pineda. We'll see if that causes a problem here. Oliva up to Vasquez, now working on the right side, but he's got that left foot you have to be leery of. Touched back by Delgado. Vasquez could not control, dispossessed that time by Javier Delgado.
Boy, huge tackle.
Miso's loose. Cuts back. Marked very tight by Almaguer. Gets loose again, and the penalty kick. Miso has drawn it. He was held, and the biggest moment of the match just occurring, and it's in favor of the underdogs.
Well, one thing you don't want to do is you've got to get a second defender over to Miso, and you better get him over there faster. A little tug on the jersey. It certainly looks like it may have been embellished. But I'll tell you what, that's just something you can't risk in the penalty area. You never know how a referee's going to react to that. And Josef Miso, you got to watch him because he can come out of areas like this. A second defender needs to get there quicker in support of number 2, Cabrera, for Necaxa, to give him that confidence just to hold up Josef Miso.
Alajuelense continuing to make believers out of people. They have a golden opportunity to strike a monumental blow now. They won on a penalty shootout. It's going to be Miso to take the penalty kick.
Of course, he sunk one of the penalties against Chicago to get him here, so this is a good bet for Alajuelense.
Josef Miso. Slovakia has given the tiny nation of Costa Rica the lead in this CONCACAF Champions.
certainly who you want taking penalties. Pineda goes to his right. Misu picks out the other corner, hits it there with confidence. And boy, I'll tell you what, this is an unbelievable start to this match. As Joseph Misu, the go-to guy for Alajuelense, this is only going to bring their confidence level up another notch. And Necaxa and their high-powered attack have their work cut out for them.
And the Necaxa fans in that deep right corner of the stadium didn't like it as they threw a barrage of foreign objects on the pitch. But how about that? Minute 36, Alajuelense have done it again. Sneaking on top of an opponent. They have scored first in both previous matches, and they have won those two.
Well, the real question is one goal enough to get them through this tournament? Necaxa has scored 3 goals in both of their prior matches. And of course, Alajuelense has not scored more than a goal in every match. So, you know, penalties is something you have to think about later in this match. There's a way of advancing, but right now they have the 1-0 lead. Necaxa is going to be a tough team to hold down, though, I think, if they can find their game.
I agree with you, Glenn, but it'll be interesting how Alajuelense comes out here. Will they be more defensive-minded, or will they continue to look for those attacks?
I think Guillermo Farina will try to keep them playing the same way. Certainly you have to be aware of the score relative to the time in the match, but you don't want to alter anything right now because they've been very selective and very smart about the times when they pressure people.
Minute 37, Necaxa with an early opportunity to strike right back. Missing, goes for the punch. Necaxa continues the momentum here. It was short-lived.
Boy, see a red shirt so central. I mean, there's 6-7 guys back behind that ball. It is a tough team to crack.
And whistle that time was Germán Villa. Free kick for Alajuelense. The first hurdle for the Costa Rican side is to get to halftime with this lead. Then they can take each victory as time starts to evaporate. Certainly a team that scored 6 goals in this tournament. More than likely not to be involved in a 1-goal result, but you never know.
No, and they're a team that is a very veteran team, and it's a team that doesn't panic. They have the ability to come from behind against people. They did it against DC. They've done it in prior qualifying rounds as well.
That cross came in, but in advance of it, a foul against Alajuelense. Well, actually, the ball went out of bounds on the far side. A little bit of nervous moments for Raul Arias. In front, Harold Wallace. Into space, the short passing, superb here by Alajuelense. The last one got away from him. There's Salvador Cabrera. Nice little ball to the left, Aguinaga. That gets through, the slide tackle didn't work. Vasquez will have time to get this cross in. Maybe not that much time is coming over. Enrique Smith.
Well, and Enrique Smith has had a silent but incredibly strong tournament in smothering people out of the game. Just a very elegant defender, very timely in the tackle, knows when to come out.
In front, skimming off a couple heads there. Oh boy, counterattack perhaps. It's a game-saving play momentarily. But Alajuelense still coming down full force. On the left side, Wilson Munoz. Headed along, in the box. Nice little run that time from Sandro Alfaro. Necaxa all of a sudden having a world of difficulties.
Well, Alfaro just powering his way through that box, but I think right now a little bit exposed is the back line of Necaxa.
Cabrera. That ball won by Chinchilla. This Alajuelense defense uncompromising. They continue to do the little things. Just conceding the corner was Pablo Chinchilla.
That's a good idea, though, to get the wide flank players of Necaxa, David Oliva and Vasquez, making some diagonal runs. I think that is an important thing to do on this field.
Short corner, Vasquez unmarked, sends it in. A muscular ball from Vasquez, got there in a hurry.
Well, these corners are shorter because this field's a little shorter. You've got to get out to people. If they get a second guy over there, that one deflecting.
And what happened here? There's a man on his back, and it's wearing a Necaxa uniform. We'll see exactly. Don't want to speculate here, but it's a Necaxa player that's on the deck right now.
It's Sergio Vasquez. The man who just got that left-footed shot off. He went to try and get the ball to take it back to take the corner and got involved in some sort of confrontation.
Sent in first post. The whistle comes, and well, Alajuelense gets bailed out that time.
You can be sure that teams from Europe too, Max, are keeping an eye on this tournament again, trying to uncover gems and find players at a good value to bring over to Europe.
Certainly a lot of good young players on both these sides. For Necaxa, it's a little tougher to break them loose from their contracts. And certainly, Costa Rica has never been or never had a shortage of first-class players popping up. Of course, most notably Pablo Wanchope, who's now playing in England at West Ham United. Another Froilan Ledesma actually played briefly at Ajax. So the precedent has been set. A piece of that ball taken off. Necaxa with a chance. Look how close, though, the man markers defend. Cleared away by Arnaez. Montes. His ball intercepted by Enrique Smith, and intercepted right back by Villa. The cross comes in, takes a couple bounces. Delgado, the intended target. Throw in deep in the Alajuelense end for Necaxa. Vasquez shoots it back. Oliva asked for it in the box and punched away there.
Line of 7, Max, defending along the back for Alajuelense. And again, I continue to be impressed by their tactics and by their discipline and by their organization by Guillermo Farina.
They're certainly putting a precedent on defense right now with the 1-goal advantage, but we've seen them make a couple attacks out of this on the counter.
Well, the problem is that Necaxa, because of the territorial possession, you know, all of a sudden you get a little bit comfortable, somebody a little error and a little moment of hesitation in the back. Next thing you know, you're down a second goal.
The cross comes in, takes a piece of somebody. Delgado is trying to set up one of those right foot rockets. Out of reach of Miso. I'm curious how Josef Miso ended up in Costa Rica in the first place. Originally from Slovakia, 25 years of age, so he's not some elder statesman wrapping up his career. This is a man in the height of his career, making a name for him. And boy, if he advances to the club championships, he may be a household name.
Well, you see the flags of Costa Rica. 2 million people in celebration right now of the success of this team in this tournament. The implications back in Costa Rica just huge. Especially it began with the victory over Toluca. Now they find themselves in the final with the 1-0 lead.
It would be a path out of a storybook, certainly. Beating not only 2 giants from Mexico, but also knocking off one of the big fellas from the United States. But we're still a half and a little bit here in half number 1 away from determining that. Cabrera, the man who conceded the penalty and gave Alajuelense the 1-goal advantage. Hernandez. Oliva hung in there by Aguinaga. Return pass just out of reach.
Well, you know, we've talked about all the playmakers in this tournament, such as Aguinaga and Peter Novak of Chicago, Wilmer Lopez of Alajuelense. And these guys don't get as much of the ball in this game because it's just too tight in midfield here. And it's obvious that they've got to be very efficient and very smart with the opportunities they do get.
Aguinaga interacting that time with his Ecuadorian international teammate Delgado. It pops out. High ball. This is probably their best bet to equalize here. before he gets too congested in the box. They do to get the corner. About 15 seconds away before we reach stoppage time. We should get notification shortly as to how much will be added on. Another short corner from Necaxa. Aguinaga then takes it himself. From outside of the box, another safe cover-up from Messin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has added 2 minutes.
You know, one good thing I like about Necaxa is that when the ball is on the opposite side of the field, their outside midfielder, either Oliva or Vasquez, will look to get into the penalty area.
Chance on the right for Oliva. Trying to squeeze it through to Delgado. Didn't work. As you saw with us, 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added on here. Not a good first touch by Montes. Magically keeps it in bounds in front of Harold Wallace. That ball hung in there forever. Oh, looked like we could have had a railroad collision between Messin and Delgado, which could have gotten very ugly.
Well, Messin showing outstanding confidence here and outstanding range and concentration just to get off his line here and pick that off. And he's got to do that behind this very solid back line of Alajuelense.
You can see the problems they're going to have defensively, Alajuelense, with Delgado. Even Messin, keepers generally should be a little taller than he is. He's 6 feet even. Delgado goes about 6'3", 6'4", hovering over him. Up on the right. We've completed a minute and a half of stoppage time. Poked away. Here comes Alajuelense. They're doing well in their search for that first hurdle to clear. Reach halftime with the advantage. Midfield stripe. Laser through to Aguinaga. One last chance for Necaxa. Right side, a lot of space provided that time for Hernandez. He'll curl it in. Knocked out by Anayes. Second effort, blocked. And that may be it. It is. Well, 45 minutes are in the books here in Las Vegas, and another surprise on its way. Alajuelense of Costa Rica. The Darlings leading superpower Necaxa of Mexico. The right to advance to the World Club Championships lies in the balance, and Alajuelense are halfway there. Don't go anywhere. We'll have halftime right after this. Well, we're in Sam Boyd Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the host city of this CONCACAF Champions Cup. No substitutions at halftime. The same 11 for both teams. Now, what will we see? Will there be a celebration in San Jose? Or will there be a little bit of comeback and vengeance from our team from Mexico City, Necaxa? The biggest 45 minutes in any CONCACAF country, barring World Cup play, coming up. Fired from the back by Almaguer. I imagine we're going to see some desperation early on from Necaxa, at least taking some chances. Set back by Vasquez.
Well, you would think they would make a big push here early on to try and get a quick goal and get back into this thing and sort of get the game back on their terms. But they have been exposed a little bit on the counterattack. And this is going to be a tough nut for Necaxa to crack here.
Joining us late, Necaxa in those predominantly white jerseys with the red trim. Alajuelense with the red and the black stripes, the black shorts.
You know, we've said it a lot, but Alajuelense does such a great job of getting numbers around the ball and getting the second and third covering defender over to the ball, and they have the confidence to do it.
Set back, won by Aguinaga. He's going to have to uncork a couple beauties here to get him right back. We have so much time left, but certainly you're dealing on shaky ground when you're running up against a team that have played defensively so well, not only in this match, but throughout this tournament. As you saw by the highlights we showed you there, when Alajuelense advanced by the Chicago Fire. And without even showing you highlights, when you talk about Toluca and the two strikers they have to shut them out, a great shot, goal!
talk about precision having to beat this tight Costa Rican defense. Look at the precision of this play. No time and space. Aguinaga, something special. The side volley. And the worst scenario here was to give a goal up early to Necaxa. And what they've done is they've gotten themselves back in the game. They've gotten the motivation. And they've gotten the momentum of just a spectacular goal. This is the goal of the tournament right here from Alex Aguinaga. Ball came out wide. Look at Oliva, though, just pinpoint this ball into the box. No time, no space. All about precision and just spearing it out of the air is Alex Aguinaga.
Well, that's what we said coming the second half. He's going to have to get involved. Boy, did he ever. Now Necaxa looking to go to the jugular. This sets up what should be an entertaining second half. Both teams have to throw everything into the wind. Intercepted by Wallace up on the right side, blocked.
You know, Max, Aguinaga scores the goal, and right before that I'm saying, you know, if Alajuelense can take this thing a 1-0 lead about 20 minutes into this half, a sense of desperation might creep into Necaxa and work adversely. Hey, that desperation's gone now after that side volley.
Well, it's the CONCACHAMP Champions Cup. The first goal, though, scored by a Slovakian. The second goal scored by an Ecuadorian. A lot of reach here in this region. Minute 49. Necaxa is walking on sunshine. Touched in towards Javier Delgado, the 31-year-old defender, has really got to rally his team in the back, as does the captain, Luis Arnaez. Make sure they don't have another moment of hesitation like they did there. Here they come again, does Necaxa. High ball beats Alfaro, but actually recovered well.
I guess, Max, the biggest crime is allowing the service to get into the box, but as far as the marking and how tight people were, I mean, that's just precision from Alex Aguinaga.
Alfaro tried to clear, blocked down by Oliva.
The big players step up.
Have they ever? Two of the players we circled at the beginning. Miso, he got the penalty kick, but he also drew the penalty. And Alex Aguinaga, star power for Necaxa revealing itself now. I'm sure we're going to go through a lot more peaks and valleys by the time we're done here in Las Vegas. Aguinaga with a ball that pulls down some rain. Vasquez hangs in there in the 6-yard box. A important clearance that time by Chinchilla.
Well, we haven't seen that much. We haven't seen Vasquez get in behind the Alajuelense defense, and that's how you can get them a little bit disorganized, forcing them to turn and chase back.
Oliva drew the defender, sets it up, Villa in front! Goal! Oh no! Wait a minute, it's not a goal. Out comes Alajuelense. The offside flag was up. Oh boy, they blew one. Yeah, we'd like to take another look there if possible, Glenn, but it looks like they blew it. Ooh.
Boy, that is absolutely close. They're deeming that Vasquez was in an offside position when that ball was played. That is so close.
Oh, and a immense bullet just dodged by Alajuelense. Alvaro Messin, cool as a cucumber, picks himself off the pitch, just points over to the linesman. Oh, excuse me, the referee's assistant. Oliva's looked dangerous when he's moved up on the right, and Vasquez, who may have just had a goal knocked off the board, also doing very nice on the left.
And of course we see Vasquez coming into the middle again when that ball's on the right side, and he's a danger because he can take you out and pull off defenders and get out towards the touchline, and then of course come in central and create havoc with a great tight skill.
That's a good ball. Upwards it comes. The forwards finally getting involved. That time it went off the foot of Miso.
Every time Miso gets a ball in the last third of the field, he is a danger, and generally something is created. Alajuelense now going to the bench. Carlos Castro coming on and Sandro Alfaro going out. Actually interesting. Castro, 35 years of age.
And you said it's interesting, and the reason it must be is because Castro's a defender, whereas Alfaro more of a working midfielder. So wondering what Guillermo Fariña's telling us by that switch.
Well, Alfaro also has been a little bit public about the fact that he has had problems adapting to a five-man midfield system and playing out wide in that system. So maybe this little chick in the armor out there right now. The other way you can look at it is maybe an attempt to become a little bit more defensive and to play for penalty kicks. But, of course, I would think that may be foolish here in the 53rd minute.
Yeah, minute 53, and Necaxa just had a goal disallowed, but I think Alajuelense still a little shell-shocked by the whole unveiling of events here.
Well, this is really where they have to show sort of what they are made of, because they've got to bounce back and get some composure and get themselves under control here to weather this storm and see if they can sort of bring this game back down a notch and get it on their terms again.
There is a professional foul there, but nice control by Aguinaga. He gets the shove from Wall. Ooh, the Wall's in the elevated foot to boot. However, Aguinaga may get the last laugh here because this is definitely within his range if he's the chosen one. Vasquez also there. Pick your poison if you're Alajuelense.
Frightening sight. Aguinaga and Vasquez over this ball.
Little chip shot, in it comes! Messon would have not been able to get over if in the event it did sneak in, but it just went wide of the near post.
Well, and actually people thinking they may shoot, but it clipped in ball beautifully. Almaguer just redirecting at the flashing header, just going wide. Of course, we remember him. He's the guy who scored the huge goal against DC to tie that matchup, and that in that match woke Necaxa up. And all of a sudden they came to life after that.
Oh, here comes Alajuelense. Nice move by Castro, the man who just came in. Sets it back to Miso. That just ricocheting off everybody in the box. It's still alive. Numbers up. Set back. They don't mind the long-range game either, does Alajuelense. It was all the way back to Lopez, but he decided to pull off on it. One in the midfield again by Alajuelense. Some tight man marking going on there, provided by Viña and Vila, the two holders for Necaxa.
You don't talk about them much, but those guys just play such a vital part for Necaxa now on the break.
Aguinaga cut inside. No whistle there. It looked like a pretty good foul. Aguinaga may have just taken a dive here. Just the obstruction there.
I don't know. I think what Aguinaga's trying to do is just run himself into Ornez, because he's gotten himself into a bad place to try and earn and draw the foul, which he certainly is very good at doing.
That ball only goes as far as Pablo Chinchilla. That's the name of the tournament. Little collision there, and drawing it was Josef Miso. He's such an elegant runner, and oh boy! Germán Villa right in front of the referee. Let's see. Oh, boy. A silly foul for Germán Villa. And if I was Raul Arias, I would dig knee deep into Villa. Absolutely, under the circumstances, unnecessary.
Well, 42 caps internationally. You'd think he would have known not to have done something like that. Germán Villa, a loss of his mind there momentarily. And now he has put Necaxa in a huge place. What a lack of responsibility.
We're very well put, Glenn. Look at that, with a referee 10 feet away from you.
That is inexcusable.
So it looked like all the momentum swinging in favor of Necaxa, and with one quick slap in the face, Alajuelense reacquires it, you have to think. And it looks like Vilmer Lopez is going to milk it for everything it's worth as a stretcher comes out.
Villa ejected for Necaxa in the 56th minute.
Oh boy, how on earth can you do that in the second half of a 1-1 game to determine a champion here in CONCACAF?
I'm actually speechless. I mean, that is just such a huge error in judgment. But the thing I think that you have to even think about even farther is it's such a lack of respect for your teammates to do that.
They're going to have to work doubly hard. Oh, boy! Things go from bad to worse for Necaxa. Guillermo Fariñas pumped. And that's the second penalty they're going to concede, Glenn, at the edge of the box. Aguinaga trying to get control. Wow. What a second half we've had already, and it's just getting stranger.
I mean, you talk about controversy, things beginning to unfold here in Vegas.
Find out who the yellow card is for, certainly for arguing. Look at that. If it is in the box, it is in the box barely. And it's Miso again.
Well, we talk about every time he gets the ball, how dangerous he can be. Of course, 1 foot is outside the box. And again, he certainly embellishes it. I think it's a tough penalty call against Necaxa.
On the wings of that red card to Germán Villa, I don't think Necaxa were completely back to form after that shell shock. And now Hugo Pineda, who gets the yellow. Last time he faced a penalty, the setting sun was in his eyes. He doesn't have that problem this time, but he does have the problem of Josef Miso approaching.
Well, Miso certainly embellishes this a bit. But you see, it's because of his ability to get in good positions and his ability to turn quickly that's putting defenders in places where they've got to make contact.
Aguinaga plays a little mind games with Miso steps away. Miso steps up to the ball. Pineda saves, still alive over the crossbar. Pineda evens out the playing field and tells the referee his 2 cents.
Right there you saw Alex Aguinaga going up to Miso and just getting in his face because he believes he took a dive. But the thing is, hey, Necaxa's got to be smarter here. As Pineda coming up with the big save, you've seen how the referee's going to call penalties by the first one. It's going to be close. You've got to be very careful in the box. What a huge save, though, from Hugo Pineda to now sort of get back.
And you said they had to use some smarts. They may not have, as this gets really ugly. And you'd hope with players like Miso and Aguinaga, straighter heads would prevail. But look at Aguinaga. He's really stirring the pot right now. Somebody explained to Alex Aguinaga that his team is down to 10 players and they cannot afford any other deletions. Well, we're hoping to avoid this kind of interaction, but unfortunately it has arrived. The good news for Necaxa is the penalty has been saved.
And no doubt, Aguinaga is talking about Miso about taking the dive in this match. Aguinaga just needs to get on with it right now.
New life breathed into the lungs. Delgado loose in the box. Looks for the cross, gets the corner. Well, you talk about how tight the field is. Maybe the man less won't be too bad.
Well, this time it was Delgado on the counterattack.
Oh, boy. There's not a lot of fans out there. It's a smaller stadium, yet they're letting their presence known. And another classless act, and we've seen several here today. As we arrive at the hour mark, the fans making this even worse.
And I'll tell you what, dangerous, too, when you're throwing bottles of water that have the volume and weight of water in them. I mean, those aren't just empty water bottles that are coming down. Those are filled with water, and those things become very heavy projectiles.
Well, hopefully they get the guilty parties and throw them out to the cold streets of the Las Vegas Strip. In it comes. And knocked out by Munoz. Good save again by Messin. It's not a good cross at all, though, from the far side to the near. Here's a chance for Oliva. Messin just in front of Vasquez. Oh, boy. Necaxa not playing with any smarts whatsoever. And if they go on to lose this game, they only have themselves to blame.
And he just gets hit with a bottle here. His projectiles continuing to come down all over the place. And this, not a good scene right now for this game. Messin coming up big there.
Well, it wasn't too bad in the second look.
I think Messin really should be given a yellow card there because in actuality, he's just grazed by Vasquez.
Actually, Messin threw the elbow, the shoulder in. My apologies to Sergio Vasquez. I thought he pulled him out. But Messin not only instigated the contact.
This is almost comical now. And you know, you hate to see a game that is at such great build-up Great players, great teams involved, incredible storylines here, and it's now turning into a bit of a debacle.
It really is. I mean, this is a championship for the whole region to represent the CONCACAF in the World Club Championship, and we're at minute 62, and in the last 7 or 8 minutes, we've seen some shocking displays of sportsmanship. And if you call this a gentleman's game, you're only fooling yourself. It's really gotten ugly here. The fans are not helping. Minute 63. Unfortunately for our Canadian referee, Jose Farias, his hands have become quite full. Although, in respect to him, although some penalty calls that occurred on behalf of Alajualense were at the edge of the box, everything he's done seems to have been the right decision, including the red card to Villa.
An honor to these athletes on the field, and cease to throw anything on the field at this time.
You hear the PA man coming on now, trying to calm down the people throwing projectiles onto the field, but hopefully now this thing will now get back under control after a few moments of sort of turbid waters.
Let us hope so. Certainly 10 minutes. I don't think either team could really catch their breath after all that. Now perhaps they will. Back to the football match that's still in question. One by Necaxa on the left. That was Montes. Sets it back to Cabrera. Minute 64. Delgado heads it up smartly off his line. Comes Messin.
Of course, now we have to look at the situation here, how Necaxa plays with 10 men, and certainly we've seen many times a team a man down really get extra motivation and extra concern about their play, and it's happening here for Necaxa right now.
Great ball to Vasquez. Now the cross comes. Almost looked like he wanted to take it himself. And here's Germán Viña. You're going to hear his name a lot because that central midfield belongs to him exclusively now with Villa gone. Another tight little play from Aguinaga as he'll pick up the corner kick. Heavy breaths right now. A lot to cheer about for Farini in the last few minutes, but it's back to the poker face look. The short corner has been the way to go for Necaxa. They do it again, this time poked away. Look at Aguinaga taking his sweet time now. Looks like he's going to go to the long ball. Initially, it looked like one goal may be able to... Well, as we said earlier, one goal wasn't going to do it. It's not going to. At 1-1, maybe 2 goals now. Won't even get to the victory. We're minute 65.
We got to wonder what Raul Arias said to his team at halftime, because Necaxa came out flying in this one. Got a spectacular goal through that man, Alex Aguinaga, off a David Oliva cross.
Sent back. Ooh, dangerous stuff here as the 2 forwards of Alajuelense pressuring from behind. Finally to see that Alajuelense realized that Necaxa are going to that short lineup, so they brought a player out to mark those 2. And if there's anybody there who's been throwing things, I would with pleasure go in there and pull them out. Oh, good ball inside. Oliva doesn't get it. Vasquez does good! Goal! Sergio Vasquez at minute 66 gives Necaxa the 2-1 lead. Will it be enough?
Well, the sending off of Germán Villa and the missed penalty have opened this matchup like a can of worms, and it's actually now seemingly benefited Necaxa.
Well, it's the CONCACAF Championship, but still no Central, Northern, or Caribbean player has scored a goal in this match.
Now this ball comes off the defense here, and it falls graciously to the feet of Sergio Vasquez, just right onto his left foot, and he buries that in the far side netting. And the Uruguayan, tremendous match here. This is Delgado now whipping this in, and it actually deflects off Messin. I'll tell you what, Great play from Sergio Vasquez to pounce on that quickly and get the shot off. And that now is the difference for 10-man Necaxa.
That front four again causing havoc. This time the Uruguayan doing the finishing. We were hoping the bad times were over, but apparently not, as Alex Aguinaga's on the deck.
The assist to number 9, Agustin.
You know, they just have so much firepower. You cannot hold these guys down. And they've now scored their second in this match. They've scored 3 in their first 2. They've gotten 8 goals in this tournament. 7 out of the 8 coming from the Aguinaga, Delgado, Vasquez, and Oliva combination.
But it doesn't look bleak yet for Alajuelense. They have a one-man advantage, and they have been performing at a tremendous rate. We have a stoppage here. Let's see what's going on. Jose Farias has been called over by his assistant. It looks like one of the assistants for Necaxa may be asked to leave. It's actually, I believe that's Dr. Cantu, the trainer. And this goes back to when Aguinaga was on the pitch lying down and he was complaining, but he will not be able to complain anymore. Well, hard to keep up with everything happening in this one, Glenn, as it continues to get stranger and stranger. Necaxa will be trainerless. And obviously the referee's assistant was the man receiving the comments, and asked Jose Farias to remove him. Pablo Izaguirre coming in for Wilson Munoz.
Well, and this is an attacking move by Fariña, and this is a position that we have not seen Alajuelense in this tournament now. They're going to have to come out a lot more, take a little bit more risk now, which is going to obviously leave them maybe exposed on the counter, although they do still have the man advantage. So an attacking move here, bring it on.
Minute 70, Izaguirre, 29-year-old Argentine, was acquired at the start of the season, who made his debut in the Costa Rican Super Classic over Saprissa on September 15th. It's probably a good omen that he's in there because, as we said earlier, no one who actually resides in the CONCACAF region has scored a goal in this final. We've had a Slovakian, an Ecuadorian, and most recently, an Uruguayan. Why not an Argentine?
Yeah, Izaguirre has some good ability on the ball, a little bit of pace and quickness. So hopefully he can jumpstart this attack. Also got a good left foot as well.
There you see him going back to retrieve the ball. Izaguirre sets it back. This is Enrique Smith. Seems like forever since we've seen Alajuelense holding the ball, working their way up. That due in part to some of the ugly incidences that have occurred in the last 15. Oliva setting it back. Enrique Smith keeps the attack alive. Arnaez organizing things in the back. Lopez, Arnaez out of his territory, really.
Well, and a poor first touch.
Here's Carlos Castro. Arnaez try to cross it in. Knocked away by Viña. Vasquez just pumping it deep. As Agustin Delgado, the lone Necaxa representative, inside the 50 of Alajuelense.
Well, and you're going to see Delgado left on his own up there as the Lone Ranger, and certainly you're going to see Necaxa most likely take a little less risk in going forward now that they have the 2-1 lead.
Look at Necaxa, pack it back. A sea of white players lined up from left to right. Good shot from the distance by Miso. If they're going to pack it back like that, look for the long-range game from the Costa Ricans here.
Well, you've got to take shots from longer range out of midfield to try and pull people out and then be able to find some space in behind them. So it's actually a great idea there from Alajuelense to take the long-range shot.
Big clearance to the midfield circle, won by Alajuelense. Arnaez dispossessed. Chance here for Necaxa. Numbers, Oliva's breaking on the right, and that is who they go to. From Delgado, Oliva. Just cracked it through there, took a deflection. Collected by Messen. A world of time still. Izaguirre.
Boy,
to the right.
Great ball out on the right side there from Izaguirre, making an impact.
Good one, too. Opening for Wallace. Set back. His ball wasn't as good. After a great ball by Izaguirre, an equally good ball from Wilmer Lopez. Unfortunately, Wallace couldn't make it 3 in a row.
And unfortunately, couldn't get himself back on side because Alajuelense at that point in a good attacking posture. And of course now, Hugo Pineda and company won't be in any rush to get these free kicks and dead ball situations back into play.
Well, one hurdle after another has been thrown in front of Necaxa. They have leaped every one in a single bound. First, down a goal at halftime, they equalize. Then, Germán Villa escorted off down to 10 men, and they take the lead.
Well, Alex Aguinaga, yeah, that tells it all. He just waving his hand there with the shot from long range. But boy, you go back to his goal early here in the second half. That is the goal of this tournament, that side volley. That was just a special moment there from a special player.
And it's good to see him right in the center of things in the event that Necaxa do go on to win this. But Alajuelense, we have learned one thing in this tournament. Don't give up on this group. That ball finding the man on the left. Ooh, hesitation on the run there from Miso. Now Hernandez able to clear to Oliva. Decked that time is Aguinaga. Oh, you're almost done, my friend. About 20 more minutes.
Well, again, it's a great skill, and the breadth of skills that this guy has is just amazing. We've seen him finish today. We've seen the passing ability, great on the dribble, and you know, when he gets into places where he doesn't have a lot of time and space, he'll just draw fouls for you.
Delgado picks up a whistle here. Free kick for Necaxa, and that was a dangerous play as Delgado's legs taken from underneath him by the Alajuelense defender. I believe in that case was Delgado of the Javier variety. I imagine they will take their sweet time to unload this one. The usual suspects. Aguinaga, who looks like he's walking off, and will leave it exclusively for Sergio Vasquez. The 2 goal scorers today. Vasquez towards the box, missing his first target. Nice slide tackle by Hernán Villa.
Boy, and the ensuing free kick they're taking quickly and actually knocked out of bounds in their haste to get the ball back into play very quickly by Alajuelense. And of course now Necaxa again using the dead ball situations and throw-ins to their advantage.
Well, Hernán Villa just made that slide tackle. If they could hold on here, he was acquired from Boca Juniors. He could call all his friends in Buenos Aires and say, hey, guess what? Boca Juniors ain't going to the World Club Championships, but I'm going with Necaxa. We will see. Free kick here. I should say throw in. Luis Montes. That hugs the sideline, won by Agustin Delgado. Look at him control that ball with his strength alone. This will set up a corner kick as a deflected last of Harold Wallace of Alajuelense. Necaxa are not pulling the dogs off yet. They want that 3rd goal. It would be an enormous insurance goal. Smartest stuff here is Wilmer Lopez goes to mark the short corner. It's taken full on. And Messen looking for someone to break. Couldn't find it. Now he'll unload it to the left. Oh, boy. Villa just laid out Carlos Castro. Certainly at least a yellow here.
Well, and I think the distribution that Alvaro Messen played out wide here.
Oh, boy, yes.
To Castro is what puts him in this position where Carlos Castro just gets nailed.
And that was to the head.
Poor distribution from Messen and goal for Alajuelense, putting him in that position. And
When you're down a goal in minute 77, you know there's no act involved in this one. His jaw took quite a thud.
You know, this is a guy who's had his share of injuries. Formerly with Herediano, another top Costa Rican team. And again, right here, the 50-50 challenge. Poor distribution for Messina. Look at this, the leg just coming right through. Oof, that is an ugly collision, awkward.
And naturally, Guillermo Farinha looking on intently, hoping first and foremost that he's okay. And you know, that kind of look, potentially a concussion. Or worst case scenario, heaven forbid, a dislocated jaw.
Well, here it is again. I mean, we've talked about the poor distribution from Messina, and just, boy, a shot to the head. And down goes Carlos Castro, the 35-year-old. If he had touched that ball beyond, boy, that is a devastating collision right there.
The arch of his back
okay.
Showed that he had no control of trying to keep himself on his feet.
Well, Hernan Vina, the man, and I would suspect there's a good chance he may have a concussion.
Castro, who came in the second half as a substitute for Guillermo Farinha, unfortunately escorted off via stretcher and will require a substitution of his own. Hector Quiroz, number 13, a young forward, comes in.
Unfortunately for Carlos Castro, we did see that he is conscious.
I said that would be the third substitution for Alajuela when it occurs.
And you got to look back too. Alajuela has not scored 2 goals during the normal course of the 90 minutes in this tournament.
Good ball by Aguinaga, sailed wide and cleared away by Wallace. Played alive, but gives just enough time for Almaguer to poke it away. All the way back to Hugo Pineda, and now we reach certainly the business end of this match. Minute 80, time running out for Alajuela. Well-weighted ball by Aguinaga. The same courtesy towards Delgado. Just in front of him, knocked away by Enrique Smith. So now the substitution will occur. Carlos Castro out. Heriberto Quiroz comes in. Quiroz at 27. They'll require his speed, running at defenses. And that's it for Farinha, pretty much. No more adjustments for him. Necaxa amazingly remains untouched by Raul Arias. The only adjustment was the fact that they lost Germán Villa via the red card.
Well, they are actually playing their better soccer in this match with 10 men. You got to wonder how much of that is down to the ejection and that influence on the team, or how much of it is down in a shared way towards also the penalty being saved by Hugo Pineda.
Free kick to be taken by Aguinaga. Short ball and low. Deflects off a couple players. Oliva back to chase down and set up Vina. Good ball from Vina, getting there late. Here comes Alajuela, finding it extremely difficult now to get out of their own end.
And I think what you're seeing now from Necaxa is a little different level of gamesmanship and experience now going on against Alajuela.
Is sent wide. Everybody up, including defender Pablo Chinchilla. A little bit of a bump there, but no foul.
The challenge that now comes to Alajuela is the fact that now they've got to try and build this game up and play a little bit differently than just a pure counterattack game, and they're really finding it very hard to sort of figure out what that sort of game is.
Probably not a good decision by Delgado, seeing that it was 2 Necaxa players against 4 Alajuela defenders. Here comes the captain, Luis Arnaez. The use on our sister station, Fox Sports World Espanol. You can catch Mexican soccer, León versus the Chivas, Guadalajara, tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. No reason not to make a whole night of it, of watching soccer on Fox Sports World and Fox Sports World Espanol.
We invite you to stay in your seats following this match for the presentation of awards. Player, the outstanding goalkeeper, trophy, and the championship.
If there's ever a time for Wilmer Lopez to step up in midfield for Alajuelense, it is now, because they are getting thoroughly outplayed here. Playing with an extra man right now. It's almost as though there's 12 guys on the field for Necaxa, not 10.
And the dimensions of the field certainly playing their advantage, just offside there. The little chip shot provided by Delgado. And I believe it was Vasquez who got the final touch to it, but he was in an offside position. Yeah, good call by the assistant.
Yeah, about 3 yards in an offside position, but again, it is a much inspired effort now coming from Necaxa. But there's Lopez. He's got to get involved.
Izaguirre still going. That ball blocked, still in the box for Alajuelense. And then knocked out. Minute 83, about to slip into minute 84. Alajuelense would love to take this to penalty kicks. And speaking of which, Alajuelense got their one goal field the penalty kick, however, missed a second. A tremendous save by Pineda. That right now is the difference.
Well, and that's the part of the game. You circle Germán Villa going off, and then right after that, earning a second penalty, and Hugo Pineda making the save against Josef Miso.
That has to be one of the strangest sequences of soccer I have seen in a long time, Glenn. From about minute 57 to about minute 68.
Incredible happenings in a short amount of time.
Chinchilla. Everybody up. The passing has to be spot on right now. In it goes, just out of reach of Izaguirre. The man servicing him that time was Heriberto Quiros. They do have some fresh legs out there. Wallace. That ball just stays in bound in front of Quiros. Can they use that speed now? They have to. That ball went through. Quiros was on an offside position. He couldn't get it. Still alive down in the box. Not able to save it. This Pineda, that'll be a corner.
Well, Miso got that service, and it down went an Alajuelense player in the penalty area. Tough to tell if he was just trying to draw the penalty. Obviously, that is what the referee believed.
This match still in doubt. Izaguirre. And with only 5 minutes left in regulation, keep in mind that we will probably have upwards of 5 minutes of stoppage time with all the stoppages we have had here.
Look who's back heading that ball out. Sergio Vasquez, the man who got the second goal for Necaxa.
Well, perhaps just a few minutes away from crowning a champion. Alajuelense want to make it go a little longer. Good clearance there, just eat up more time. Back to fetch it was Wallace. He has been a workhorse today. A cheer out of the Costa Rican fans that made the trip to Las Vegas, trying to rally the team one last time. Everybody back for Necaxa, all 10 players. Well, it's going to be difficult to get through all these trees. Into nice setup. Valente! Sent wide, Wallace! Inside the 6-yard box, elevation, and Necaxa clears. And oh boy, heart in the throat there. Chinchilla with the cross. Overshooting Valente, right on the far side was Wallace. He got there too late.
Well, Hugo Pineda again coming up big, has come up with the timely saves, of course saved the penalty. Certainly you might think he might have to come up with another save or two here before this is over.
Minute 87, Alajuelense looking for their second CONCACAF Champions Cup, but it's going to take a lot of laboring. Yeah, knocked away. Oliva, Delgado's had a superb match. All 4 of those up front have been tremendous. Now some space provided on the right. Here's Wallace. Players getting over there late. Lopez. Izaguirre in front, redirected that close. Quiros unmarked, almost got us on an even keel yet again.
Well, the speedy Quiros, look at this. Look at that defender out wide. Vasquez keeping everybody on side as Quiros just peels off. And it's Izaguirre here with a beautifully weighted little ball into the penalty area. Tell you what, he has really been impressive here coming on late in this match.
Finally, Raul Arias will go to his bench. Coming out of the match, I believe, is David Oliva.
And this has been one of his normal substitutions. He's bringing out an attacking player in Oliva and bringing on a very defensive-minded, experienced Nacho Ambriz. He's got 64 caps for Mexico, a guy with tremendous experience, a guy you want to have on in the final minutes.
Certainly not a bad option as a substitute when you're up in a match. That cleared away in minute 88.
Ambriz has really settled into that role as sort of the experienced veteran coming on late in matches in this tournament. 34 years of age.
And there's the official notification of the substitution. How about Quiros? That almost took a nasty hop off Pineda. He knows that was an adventure. And that time, Heriberto Quiros, a surprise substitution because Carlos Castro got laid out earlier.
But you know, you look at Quiros and you look at Izaguirre, and these are two very good attacking players that have come off the bench, have not gotten a lot of playing time in this tournament. And that really is sort of a vindication of the tactics of Guillermo Farinha, which is really a more counter-attacking team and workman-like team in a collective way.
It really shows the depth this club does have when you think they wouldn't.
They'll show you it's maybe not always your most technically gifted players that come on. It also is the type of player in relation to your tactics.
Minute 89, they need the goal. Quiros. Lopez sending it wide. It may just get there. There's Wallace. He'll send it right back. Miso over the head. Chinchilla. Miso let it go, but it did touch the Necaxa player last. The final minute of stoppage time. We'll find out how much injury time will be added. Figure a world of it because we have had stoppages at a surplus.
You'd have to think 5 minutes plus.
There we see it. Settled in. Looks like a handball, and it is.
Boy,
Cleared away.
How unfortunate, Max.
I believe I saw the fourth referee with a signification, signifying that there's 2 minutes of stoppage time. If that's the case, that is an outrage.
Well, he uses his considered handling there. But yeah, I would think with only 2 minutes added on, that is a bit short.
Oh, boy. Well, there was a lot of stoppages in the second half, and Alajuelense have just been shortchanged a bit. They're going to have to do it in 2 minutes. And we have reached the conclusion, and we're now in its stoppage time. Here is Necaxa. Ball retention is a must. Delgado. Necaxa looking to take their second Champions Cup. They won it in 1975 when they were known as Atlético Español. Not only this will be the first one ever as Necaxa, but this will be the most important one in the history of this tournament. Set up on the left, just out of reach of Edson Luis Valente, the Brazilian. And not a good sign for Alajuelense is Jose Farias just looked at his watch with 1 minute of stoppage time completed. Because the fourth referee called it 2 minutes, we never know. Farias may go over that or may go under. Sergio Vasquez already screaming for enough stoppage time.
Boy, and a horrible goal kick there from Necaxa. Shocking almost to see that at this late stage of a match.
Anticipation at Sam Boyd right now. Necaxa hanging on. Chinchilla sets it into attack. Farinha will let her have one more go. And Necaxa with a timely intercept. And that was Nacho Ambriz, the man who came in. It's going Necaxa's way. Raul Arias is going to unload his bench here. Miguel Acosta, 24-year-old.
And this is really basically a time-wasting move, obviously, trying to hopefully kill a little bit of the clock.
Oh, boy. Carlos Costa, much worse than we ever imagined. That is it! Necaxa are your 1999 CONCACAF Club champions, and they're booking their ticket to Brazil as we speak. What a moment for Necaxa.
Champions Cup. They're on their way to the first FIFA Club World Championship. January.
Well, they will represent the CONCACAF region in FIFA's first World Club